over there at the very least. The 2-0 for IG, is it the case? Well, that fan will find out as we have a Yumi ban from FPX on blue side. And Lyric, we have strange bans, honestly, from FPX on blue side. I guess they're just like, hey, a Cassante game? Why not? Surely.
I was going to say Annie being the big one in my mind. Ari would have been another one. I'm kind of surprised because that one is more of a care special. So even had they pivoted to something else like Emilio or just kind of anywhere else, I think it would have made a bit more sense. But now for IG, going to straight up just go for Ari plus Rakan. Very surprising, the heavy, I'd say, fall off in terms of junglers coming into some of these early rotations.
Yeah, I mean, today has been a day of like, well, just wait and see what happens, especially with the first series. After the Vi was banned away. Maokai, the response as well. I'm glad you brought up in the mid lane. You know, I was expecting the Cassante, which now looks like FPX will take. As you said, you know, Care and Crine, they have been the ones who've really piloted each other's champions in this game one. Care with the Ari, Crine with the Annie. I like that we're getting a bit of a swap, but we know both mid laners are probably going to aim to play at least one of the two for this entire series.
Yeah. This should be a series where I wouldn't be surprised to see them open in every game so far. FPX, though, full topside in their first rotation. Not something you see all too common. Going to make sure that they at least know what they're playing down in that bot lane. But at the same time, it goes against a bit of what we talked about for FPX, what their game plan should be of enabling LWX and Chocho. I guess if LWX is willing to go a bit further outside of the pool or like bring in something a bit quirkier, it can work. But you know, Jinx, Xayah, two things maybe you expect to be taken away. I guess Zeri can still be played, so maybe that's an option as IG that you look for. But yeah, it seems like there will be just enough available for LWX to get his hands on something that he will be comfortable on.
But at least taking away some of the lane dominance, LWX as a Lucian, just been known throughout time. I think
that's what I think back for, like 2019, of how great his Lucian was.
With Crisp, for sure. I feel like LWX, one of the greatest Lucians in the LPL, is at least that option's taken away. As you said, there are a couple still on the board. So do IG waste bans on AD, or do they look to see what they can take from that support pool? It's going to be the Lulu taken away, so at least limiting the options here for Chocho as well.
Yeah, and it means they're kind of like soft denying the Zeri while also being like, hey, we're going to hurt, you know, like a Jinx plus Lulu angle. You already have enough engage in your top side. You already have enough front line. Like, we know you can definitely fit an Enchanter. And now for FPX, like, you could ban a Fiora or something if you want to keep just blind, like, banning things that YSKM likes to play. The Jax feels like the biggest one to me. The Gwen definitely the second one. And yeah, so it will just be the Fiora round out. I could have understood if they maybe thought of like caring about something like a Gnar or a Kennen as well, but that will not be the case. And straight to the Sejuani for Beishan.
What other melee top laners do we have for YSKM, Lyric? No Jax, no Fiora. Is this a Camille angle of a game? Because Sejuani usually paired with at least one melee solo laner. I'm gonna leave that question there.
Camille and Irelia are his other two big ones. Definitely don't think Irelia would be good to take into the Cassante. I mean, hell, I think Cassante will be fine against either one of them. But you're right, we're kind of keeping our eyes to be as anything else left in his pocket. And this is a bot lane we've gotten a few times now in the league. I believe we've gotten it once from Weibo, and the other one was either Tez or JDG, I think off the top of my head. But again, we've had it a few times, Varus plus Heimer. It is so oppressive in lane. And I was saying, I didn't think we'd see this one, but YSKM does bring out the Irelia. Hysterics, you wanted flavor in drafts all day, and we get a bit of flavor. We get to see some volatility in top side, and we get to see FPX wanting to bring some volatility and oppression to their bot lane 2v2 as well.
I mean, again, this is the identity. IG play towards top side. We know that in the past, YSKM's been the carry, and with his return back to the LPL, at least for a couple of series, it is nice to see him on such a champion. Irelia versus Cassante. It's literally like one budget of the other. And the crazy thing is, we know that Cassante can hold a candle. We know that when Cassante ults, he turns into some kind of Irelia. But this is the OG. This is the champion that did it first. And I cannot wait to see what topside holds. But as you said, Lyric, bottom side lane's going to be important. And it feels like you're just alluring me to the fact that laning phase is going to be everything for at least both sides of the map.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want your Irelia to fall behind, right? Ideally, you'd want to get her ahead for the side of IG. And for FPX, even if you aren't finding 2v2 kills, it's about keeping that wave push in, like taking turret plates, and really just using Heimer Varus to its fullest. So I expect to see a split in priorities from these teams.
Well, looking forward to it at the very least. IG topside. How do FPX handle bot? Or at least how do they make sure that IG can't handle them? We're going into game number 1 of IG FPX. Both teams are 1-5, but you all know these teams because they're world champions. Because they've once had their lines drawn in the sand. They've had their names etched on boards across the world. IG and FPX are legends in their own rights, but this split, it's been a rough start. It's been a real rough 2023 summer for them. For such now historic organizations in the LPL. Let's see if they can push through and get to a second win.
Not going to be able to do anything off of it, but now both teams just flipping. Hacker now going to get towards the stop lane.
Oh, has to flush away. YSKM in a bit of trouble. Hacker matches. There's a flush from Showdown as he can't do anything but run away. A Q for the slow. Trying to mitigate the damage. Hacker under turret movement speed. Almost he gets him. YSKM knows his bases. And a 1-for-1 trade in your face.
Honestly, for YSKM, you should take that. Putting yourself in harm's way, not reading the same play that your team is doing on the opposite side of the map can come out onto you. Lucks out, gets the 1-for-1 with not really enough ways to close distance, get the damage down.
A big
and
wave is good for Aurelia. Lyric,
yeah,
just...
Even manages to get back. Ionian Fervor still stacked up, but still, Shalahu will be able to manage to get away, and that's 2 flashes for 1.
An insane trade that as he comes back to catch the rest of the wave, puts him in a good spot. We'll look at the replay again, because Lyric, base movement speed, I think came in clutch here in the end.
Yeah, Shalahu gets hit by the E, which allows for the Q to come in. YSKM trying to go for some heavy trading. Again, I think a bit of a mystery to not read the same play your team is going for on bot to come out on top. But just barely getting away, throws out the W, and then Hacker having to commit way too much.
Why? He has flash ulti. What?
FPX bot has everything. They have everything up. They go for a TP, which is pretty easy to avoid with where LWX and Chocho were positioned. And I guess they're just feeling the pressure, right? Which is understandable. No matter what we see as like 1-1 and a 3K gold lead for FPX, they've had full map control for the past 10 minutes.
Okay, hang on. YSKM, what? Just solo killed Chocho in front of the team and he's out. You know what? After that TP, that is redemption. That was clean AF.
Great realizing the damage he has with that Blade of the Rune King. I guess Chocho just underestimating how much YSKM could do. Because hell, yeah, just want that first minion getting low, setting up the full dash to close the distance. Chocho though?
Okay, caught out and Cry's just dead. Chocho just presses the button. Look at that little smirk on his face. Bottom left, he's just so happy with himself. He's got backup. I mean, he thought it was just a bluff, but it's not. Hacker with the Cyclone out, gets out. Is TP going to be used? Everyone's flying in. Watch YSKM as Flawless Duet to fly the sun. He's in, he's in, he's in, and he's about to die. Xiaolao who won't let him breathe. And now that YSKM's out of the picture, FPX run him down. Chains of Corruption forces the flash. And as soon as they make their move, they make it hard.
And this is why we said coming out of the draft, it felt like FPX's gave them more options. We liked FPX's a bit better. Having that much control bot side, you have like the premier mid-jungle picks on this patch when Nico's consistently banned out and Vi's taken away. They're really just able to transfer pressure from lane to lane so well. Another turret down. They're potentially going to take away the blue buff here. They're denying so much from the side of IG. We're nearing Baron coming up as well, and FPX have great potential to like turn if they ever did want to try and bait IG into a fight once they start getting control over the top side jungle.
Replay time though. We'll look again because Caird started this one off with a big bait for Hacker to come in.
Crying just not reading the fact that Hacker would be here. And IG tried to respond in kind, bringing the Irelia down, but it just allows for more members of FPX to come with Shala, who already having the Q3 from Cassante ready to get the knockback, and they can just keep running them down with the amount of CC that this composition offers.
Wink having to flash at the end there as well. But flashing in, Care gets the Tibber stun, and LWX layers it down. Yet again, look at him go. He pokes, and IG gets smoked. It's 8K now. This is just such an easy game.
And let's give props to Hacker as well, for a player that we were kind of talking so little. We have said has been struggling the past few splits. Like, look looking like one of the bottom tier junglers in the LPL, having a much better game so far in this first game against IG. Really wanting to break that lose streak. And now going to just turn it into, I guess, what FPX's first dragon of the game. So for FPX, we know, like, looking for Soul really shouldn't and can't be a win condition. That would give enough time for IG to really come online, have that front line that's necessary, and start getting those engages off. So it's going to be more about the Baron. It is going to be a game where FPX potentially have to, like, flip a Baron, but overall it should be about turning. Turning, getting picks because you have enough engage to do so.
Ward plays down. I was just watching him, like, is Wink really willing to be nearby? And Shala, who is still strong in his own right, just replacing the wards towards Baron, because speaking of objectives, I mean, that one's sitting and staring them in the face. Might be FPX's next menu. Or at least menu item. I wish I could read Chinese. I don't know what that says. 446 on care. That's how many times this game he's really thought about giving care. I mean, I feel like this player hasn't really had to do much this game, Larry. There's been some really good setups. 4 out of 5 kill participation, so maybe not doing much is a wrong item, wrong word for me this game. He's
just
definitely just...
Yeah, I get the spirit of what you're saying, because there's really no one on FPX has had to be flashy or like take things into their own hands. They've kind of just played out their comp like to a T by the book, right? Hard pressure bot, get Hacker and Karen involved, roam in, and now it's just about constantly deep pushing for picks.
It's instantaneous. Wink is going to meet with maybe an ill fate, or at least a poke out that leads towards Baron. Crying in the meanwhile gets a turret. What more can you do? I mean, IG might lose Baron for the sake of this Ari being bot side. At least he has TP. But now it's just a threat from FPX, as that ward won't give full information until Hacker steps out.
No, but they're going to go for this. And like we said, with the fact that they have everything except inhibitor turrets down, and they're nowhere close to Soul, they really need a way to break open the game. So they're going to try and rush this. I guess not even rush, right? They were trying to sneak the Baron into now bringing it into a full 5-man. Beishang nearby has Smite up, but they're not even gonna try.
Nope. Well, IG, I guess just asleep at the wheel. Jeez, I mean, honestly, might just go back to eating the steak. YSKM, he's trying. At the very least, he's trying, but Care just takes him out. FPX might be ready to get, like, book in hot pot. What time is it over there? 8:30. I'd say 9:30 if this series continues like this. Book in hot pot for 9:30. Maybe take IG. I think they could use the meal.
Yeah, honestly. You know, I don't know, like, I guess it would depend on the person. I was going to say, would you be, like, offended as IG to get invited, or would you be like, all right? I feel like if it was me, I'd be like, whatever. You know what, 6 losses, I have no pride left. Let's get a free meal out of it. I enjoy some hot pot, you know?
Let's have some beer.
Exactly.
Let's have some Qingdao beer, boys. Sink in.
And let's be real. Even if FPX win the series, you'd probably still be, as FPX, you'd be like, you know, guys, we get it. We're only 2 wins. It's not a huge gap. It's not a huge difference.
God, and it really feels like it is. I mean, FPX are 10k up.
Does.
Base is breaking. IG, the last time they made a play was 1998 when League of Legends was in its infancy. This Hacker, that's a clone. They're sitting there. Beishang's almost dead. I mean, like, Windows 95 came out. I remember that's when IG woke up, and as they sit towards the fountain, inhibitors going down, watching the game, crying, Spirit Rush. Okay, finally, there we go. But not the full commit. There's the ulti from Xiaoyueji. Inhibitor's still going to drop.
And, I mean, IG are trying to fish for anything they can, but not going to be able to find it. FPX tethering kind of right on the edge of some of the ranges of IG's members so well. And to give context, you said it right, IG are the substitute team. They are, you know, that there's some classes back in the day where you'd have your class would have like the same substitute teacher every time. Then you have that class where you have a different one, like, and you have the teacher that's for some reason out like every 3 weeks. That's IG. They've been constantly kind of moving pieces in their roster this split. They haven't settled or cemented on any just win it. Xiaoyueji coming back to the LPL for the first time since 2022 spring. YSKM just getting back from Asia Games. Beishang's only had a few series back in the LPL and like now on IG. So I think it makes sense why IG are struggling so heavily, but I definitely didn't expect to see so much of a disparity coming on through into the series.
Yeah, hopefully game 2 a little bit different. I mean, again, we can't talk about this one being draft. It's IG in there. their confidence, their ability to make it at least something happen. As they get pushed in, bot side's the last inhibitor turret left. IG sitting in their base naturally. But Shallow, as he pushes up mid, this is going to be so much pressure put on the base at once. They can't step up to LWX. The pain that comes out of this champion right now, way too much for them to deal with. Shallow is just walking in the base. As said, pressure apply.
But I don't know, without having the Baron buff, I feel like it's going to be incredibly hard. At least they have 2 waves of supers, so they can at least pull the pressure of IG across the map, but we have a flank coming through.
Okay, YSCam on the long haul. The inhibitor turret might be gone as Cam destroys Xiaoyu. He's not even going to let this Aurelia come in as IG. When they get to the backside, that's Wink with the quickness. YSKM, I mean, he's now stuck at a Wukong. I guess you can't do much when your team's dead, but IG, I think go back to the drawing board. Just think about this one. You didn't really do anything. YSKM got a solo kill. And there was one more in there as well, but that was it. That was the most disappointing IG game I have seen since 2000. Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, that was a rough one for IG, right? But I want to move it back to FPX because I'm happy that FPX again leaned into their strengths, leaned into the fact that LWX and Shotro are a legit 2v2.